I'll take my pack and create a distraction at the main gate. That's not a plan, Damon says. That's barely organized chaos. It's all we have. We're outnumbered 5-1, and we're attacking a fortified position. Chaos is our only advantage. Asher nods slowly. Now. We leave now. Our packs. Will follow or they won't, Stacy says flatly. I'm going with or without them. This is personal. Damon stands, rolling his shoulders. Let's go get our girl. Their eyes meet, 3 alphas, 3 rivals, united by one impossible bond. For Edna, Asher says. For Edna, the others echo. In the Obsidian Keep, Edna sits in her cell and watches the sun rise. Her last sunrise. The Purist Council has been generous with their psychological torture. For hours, they projected visions into her mind, memories, altered and enhanced to maximize pain. She watches Stacy reject her again, but this time, she hears his thoughts. Pathetic. Weak. I'd rather die than be bound to this creature. She watches Damon laugh at her. Hears him think, I need a queen, not a broken toy. She's not even worth the effort of rejecting properly. She watches Asher Turway. His thought clear. My pack is right. Some bloodline should end. Not real, she whispers, but her voice lacks conviction. Isn't it? The elder which leans against the bars, expression pitying. Oh, child, those were their true thoughts. The mate bond forced them to feel attraction, but underneath, this is what they really believe. You're an abomination, a mistake of nature. Even the moon goddess regrets creating you. That's not. Look. The witch waves her hand, and a new vision appears. Stacy, in bed with a beautiful she-wolf, both of them laughing. Damon, surrounded by vampire courtesans, looking satisfied. Asher, signing a mating contract with a politically appropriate wolf from a pure bloodline. They've already moved on. The witch continues. You were a curiosity, an obsession born from the mate bond's compulsion. But they don't love you. How could they? You're not even fully one thing. You're a confused mess of 3 species that should never have mixed. Real mates don't reject each other. Edna, the fact that they did tells you everything you need to know. The visions feel real. Too real. And the horrible thing is, part of Edna believes them. Because they echo what she's always believed about herself. Wrong. Tainted. Unlovable. The execution is in 1 hour. The witch says gently, almost kindly, you can fight, make it messy and painful. Or you can accept that this is mercy, ending a mistake, correcting an error of nature. We'll make it quick if you don't resist. Edna looks down at her hands. No magic sparks there now. The dampening runes have reduced her Tribrid power to almost nothing. She's just Edna again. Weak, powerless Edna. Maybe that's all she ever was. If I don't resist, she hears herself ask, you'll let the others live? The wolves, vampires, and witches who helped me. We'll spare them. You have my word. It's probably a lie. But what choice does she have? She thinks of Stacy, Damon, and Asher. Feels the mate bond, still connecting them despite the rejections, despite everything. If she dies, the bond will snap. It will hurt them, might even kill them, but eventually they'll be free. Free to find proper mates. Pure mates. Mates they can be proud of. Maybe her death is the kindest thing she can give them. Okay, Edna whispers. I won't fight. The witch smiles. Wise choice. They come for her as the sun reaches its peak. 12 guards, silver chains, weapons designed to kill all 3 of her natures simultaneously. They unlock the cell, and Edna stands on shaking legs. This way. She follows. What else can she do? The corridor leads to a massive ceremonial chamber, and Edna's stomach drops. It's packed. Hundreds of supernaturals, wolves, vampires, witches, all here to witness her execution. A spectacle. A warning. This is what happens to abominations. The execution platform stands in the center. Silver chains attached to posts, a headsman's block, and 3 different execution methods on display. Silver blade for the wolf, wooden stake for the vampire, iron spike for the witch. They're going to kill all 3 of her natures at once. efficient. The guards lead her up the steps, and she doesn't resist, doesn't fight, just lets them chain her to the posts, arms spread, exposed and vulnerable. The crowd chants. Some call for her death. Others just watch with morbid curiosity. Through the mate bond, she feels Stacy, Damon, and Asher. They're close, getting closer, but not close enough. They're not going to make it in time. The head elder steps forward, ancient wolf with eyes like frozen amber. Edna Nightshade, Tribrid abomination. You've been judged and found guilty of violating natural law. Your existence threatens the purity of all supernatural species. Do you have any last words? Edna looks out at the crowd, sees the hatred, the fear, the disgust. She spent her whole life seeing those expressions. I'm sorry, she whispers, for existing, for being wrong, for all of it. The elder nods, satisfied. Executioner. The three specialists step forward, wolf with silver blade, vampire with wooden stake, witch with iron spike. They raise their weapons. The crowd holds its breath, and Edna closes her eyes. I was a fool to hope, she thinks. But at least it's over now. The mate bond screams with agony. Stacy, Damon, and Asher feeling her resignation, her acceptance of death. She feels them fighting to reach her, but they're too far. Too late. The weapons descend, and Edna stops fighting. Chapter 7. The Tribrid Unleashed. The weapons descend in perfect synchronization. Silver blade, wooden stake, iron spike, each one aimed to kill a different part of me. And in that frozen moment between heartbeats, I hear it. Not the witch elder's voice, not my ancestral spirits, not even the moon goddess. My own voice, all three parts of me, speaking as one for first time. We are not a mistake. The wolf snarls feral and fierce. We survived 10 years of abuse. We are survival itself. The vampire hisses cold and certain. We are the night made flesh. We are power eternal. The witch whispers, ancient and knowing. We are magic incarnate. We are evolution. And then, all three together, a chorus that shakes reality itself. And we will not die here. Something inside me, the last fragile wall I've been hiding behind, the final piece of self-doubt, the core belief that I'm fundamentally wrong, shatters. Not breaks. Shatters. Explodes into nothing. The weapons strike. The silver blade hits my skin and shatters, fragments flying like shrapnel. The wooden stake splinters into dust before it can pierce flesh. The iron spike melts, liquid metal dripping harmlessly away. The magic dampening chains don't just break, they explode, violet light erupting from every link. The ancient runes screaming as my power overwhelms them completely. I'm not suppressing anymore. I'm not hiding anymore. I'm not surviving anymore. I'm becoming. My three natures don't just emerge. They fuse. Wolf, vampire, and which pouring into each other like rivers meeting the sea. No boundaries. No separation. We are one. We have always been one. I just needed to stop fighting myself long enough to see it. Power detonates outward in a shockwave of silver, crimson, and violet light. The execution platform disintegrates beneath me, but I don't fall. I float, suspended in my own magic, while the shockwave levels everything within 100 feet. Stone walls crack. The ceiling collapses. Hundreds of spectators scream and flee. I land in the center of the destruction, and where my feet touch ground, flowers bloom. Silver moonflowers, crimson blood roses, violet nightshade, all growing from the ruins. Life from death, beauty from devastation. My body has changed. I can feel it. I'm taller, stronger, every muscle defined with supernatural power. My hair flows around me like living shadow. Silver streaks now glowing with inner light. My eyes, I can see myself reflected in a shard of broken mirror, are no longer shifting between colors. They're all colors at once, swirling together in an impossible kaleidoscope. I am wolf. I am vampire. I am witch. I am Tribrid. Not three broken pieces pretending to be whole. One unified, sovereign, unstoppable force of nature. The purest council elders scramble backward, terror written across their ancient faces. Impossible, the witch elder breathes. The dampening chains. were designed for normal Tribrids. I say, and my voice resonates with layered power. I am not normal. I am not even Tribrid anymore. I am something new. Something you cannot categorize, cannot control, cannot kill. The wolf elder snarls, try and project dominance. Abomination? No. The word stops in mid-breath. I am not an abomination. I am evolution. I am the answer to a question you're too afraid to ask. What if separation is weakness? What if unity is strength? I raise my hand and magic responds, not wild, not chaotic, but precise as a surgeon's blade. Violet chains erupt from the ground, wrapping around the 13 council elders, binding them in place. You try to kill me for existing. I continue, walking toward them slowly. You tortured me, broke me, made me believe I was wrong, tainted, unworthy of love or life. The vampire elder hisses, you are... I was nothing you said I was. My roar shakes the ruins. I was a child, a victim, someone trying desperately to survive in a world that hated her for circumstances beyond her control. But you couldn't even grant me that mercy, could you? You had to try to destroy me. I stop in front of them, power crackling around me like a living storm. I could kill you now, easily. All 13 of you, gone in a heartbeat. Your precious species purity preserved by eliminating the ones who preach it loudest. I let that sink in. That's what you'd do, isn't it? If you had my power, you'd eradicate everyone who opposed you. The witch elder's eyes widen. Please. But I'm not you. The magic chains tighten. Not enough to hurt, just enough to ensure they can't move. I won't become a monster you called me. I won't prove your prejudice right by ruling through fear and death. Then what will you do? The wolf elder asks, confused. I'm going to let you live. I wave my hand, and the chains shift, becoming exile marks, magical brands that will prevent them from entering any major supernatural territory for a century. But you don't get to hurt anyone else. You don't get to spread your poison. You're exiled, powerless, irrelevant, live with what you've done, live with the knowledge that the abomination you tried to kill showed you more mercy than you ever showed her. The marks burn into their skin and they scream, not in pain, but in rage and humiliation. I turn my back on them, dismissing them from my concern. And that's when I feel it. 3 presences, blazing to the mate bond like comets. Stacy, Damon, Asher, they're here. The wall explodes inward in a shower of stone and mortar. Stacy comes through first, silver eyes blazing. Shifted halfway to wolf form, ready for war. Damon blurs and next, vampire speed leaving after images. Fangs descended, murder in his crimson gaze. Asher follows, magic crackling around his hands. He's a wolf, but he's learned some witchcraft, apparently. Face set in grim determination. They're magnificent, terrifying, ready to tear apart an army to reach me. They freeze when they see me, not chained, not broken, not dying, standing in the center of destruction. Power radiating from every pore, the purest council bound and branded at my feet. Flowers blooming in the ruins around me. Edna, Stacy breathes. I meet his eyes, then Damon's, then Asher's. You came, I say simply. Of course we came. Damon's voice is raw. We thought, the bond, we felt you giving up, we thought we'd lost. You almost did. I look at each of them in turn. I almost let them kill me, because I believed them when they said I was a mistake, that you didn't really want me, that the mate bond was just biology, not choice. That's not true, Asher says desperately. Edna, I know. I cut him off gently. I know now, because I finally heard the truth. Not from you, from myself. I gesture at the ruins, at the power still dancing across my skin. I don't need you to save me, I say and watch them flinch. I needed you to believe I could save myself. And you weren't here for that. You weren't there when I was weak and broken, and convinced I deserved to die. You showed up ready to fight for me now that I'm powerful. Now that I'm undeniable. That's not fair, Stacy says, but there's no heat in it. Just exhausted honesty. We've been fighting for you since the moment we realized what we'd done. We've torn apart our territories looking for you. We formed an alliance despite hating each other. We were willing to die to get you back. I know. I felt it through the bond. I softened slightly. And I'm grateful. Truly. But you need to understand something. I walked toward them, power trailing behind me like a cloak of living light. The mate bond doesn't mean I need you. It means I choose you. There's a difference. Need is desperate, clinging, built on fear that you can't survive alone. Choice is sovereign, powerful. It says, I am whole on my own, and I'm choosing to share that wholeness with you. I stop in front of them, close enough to touch but not touching. I don't need rescuing. I need partners, equals, people who see Edna, not the Tribrid, not the prophesied one, not the weapon or the prize. Just me. Stacy is the first to move. He drops to one knee, not in submission, but in recognition. I see you, he says, voice rough. I see Edna Nightshade, who survived a decade of abuse and came out kind instead of cruel, who learned to control powers that should have destroyed her, who chose mercy when violence would have been easier. I see you and I'm in awe. Damon follows, kneeling with uncharacteristic humility. I see you, he says. I see the woman who makes my cold heart beat again, who haunts my dreams and my waking hours, who I'm obsessed with, yes, but not because of power, because of who you are when you smile, when you laugh, when you let your guard down just enough to be real. Finally, Asher kneels, green eyes bright with unshed tears. I see you, he whispers. I see the person I was too cowardly to choose when it mattered, the one I should have fought for. Consequences be damned. I see you, Edna. Now what you can do for me or my pack. Just you. And I'm begging for the chance to prove I'll choose you every time from now on. The mate bond thrums between us. Stronger than ever. A connection built not on need but on genuine feeling. I look at them, 3 alphas on their knees before me, not because I demanded it, but because they chose it. And I realize I have a choice now. I could reject them, walk away free and sovereign, owing nothing to anyone, build my life alone, powerful and independent. Or I could choose them, not because I need them, but because I want them, because despite everything, despite the rejections and the pain and the mistakes, they're mine and I'm theirs. Stand up, I say softly. They do. Uncertainty written across their faces. I take a breath. This is it. The moment that determines everything. You rejected me when I was weak. I begin and watch them brace for the final blow. You chose duty, pride, and politics over me. You made me feel worthless, unwanted, wrong. We know, Stacy says, and we'll spend our lives making amends. Let me finish. I step closer. You rejected me then, but you're choosing me now, and that matters. Not because I need your validation, not anymore, but because I see your regret. I feel your genuine remorse through the bond. I see you trying, learning, evolving. I reach out, touching each of their faces in turn. I'm choosing you back. All 3 of you, not because the mate bond demands it, not because I'm weak and need protection, but because I want partners who've learned from their mistakes, who've proven they can grow, who kneel not in submission, but in respect. The hope that blazes through the mate bond nearly knocks me over. You mean, Asher can't even finish the question. I mean, I'm giving you a second chance. We're sealing the mate bonds, properly this time, with choice, not coincidence. I smile and it's genuine. But understand this. I am not a prize you won. I am not a weapon you wield. I am not property you own. I am your equal, your partner, your mate. Swear it, all 3 of you, before witnesses and the moon goddess herself. Stacy doesn't hesitate. I swear, on my pack, my honor, my life, you are my equal, my partner, my sovereign mate. Damon places his hand over his heart. I swear, on my blood, my name, my soul, you are my equal, my obsession, my eternal mate. Asher's voice shakes with emotion. I swear, on my heart, my loyalty, my love, you are my equal, my choice, my forever mate. The mate bonds, which have been frayed and damaged since the rejections, suddenly snap into place. But not like before. This isn't the chaotic, overwhelming pull of fated mates discovering each other. This is choice. Deliberate, powerful, unbreakable. Silver, crimson, and violet light explodes from all four of us, weaving together, binding us in ways that transcend biology or magic. This is so deep, eternal. We are mated. When the light fades, I'm standing between three alphas who look at me like I hung the moon and stars. And I look back at them with equal intensity. Mine, I say, voice layer with all three of my natures. All three of you. Mine. Yours. They echo in unison. I turn to face the crowd of supernaturals who've been watching this entire exchange, stunned into silence. Spread the word. I call out, power making my voice carry across the ruins. The Tribrid lives. The species can unite or stay divided. That's your choice. But persecution of mixed bloodlines ends now. Anyone who tries to eliminate Tribrids, hybrids, or any being for existing differently will answer to me. And to them, I gesture at my three mates, who move to flank me, a united front. We are the new order. Not tyrants, not conquerors, but guardians, protectors of those who've been pushed to the margins for being wrong. I let my power flare, visible reminder of what I can do. Test us if you dare. No one moves. No one speaks. Message received. I turn to my mates. Let's go home. Where's home? Damon asks. I smile. Wherever the four of us are together. We walk out of the ruins, leaving the Purist Council branded and humiliated, leaving the old order shattered. And as we cross into the forest, I feel it. The mate bonds, singing with contentment. Three alphas, one Tribrid, bound by choice instead of fate. I am powerful. I am sovereign. I am loved. And I am finally completely whole. Chapter 8. The Claiming. We make it back to the Obsidian Tower as the sun sets, painting the sky in shades of blood and gold. The mate bonds in between us, newly sealed but not yet fully settled. It's like wearing new skin, familiar but strange, intimate in ways I'm still learning to navigate. So, Damon says as we enter the tower's main hall, "What happens now?" I turn to face all three of them, these alphas who rejected me and then fought an army to get me back. Now, I say slowly, you prove you meant those oaths. Stacy's eyes narrow. We swore before the moon goddess herself. Our word is binding. Words are easy. Actions are what matter. I cross my arms. I'm giving each of you a test. Not of strength. I already know you're physically powerful. A test of character. Of who you are when the right choice conflicts with the easy choice. What kind of test? Asher asks warily. You'll know when you face it. The situations will arise naturally over the next few days. I meet each of their gazes in turn. Pass, and we move forward as true mates. Fail and we'll see. Before any of them can protest, the tower shudders. Not an earthquake. Something else. The wards I place around the structure scream a warning, magical alarms blazing to life. What is that? Damon moves the window, vampire senses on high alert. I reach out with my Tribrid senses and feel it, a wrongness spreading across the land like oil on water. Dark, ancient, hungry, something old. I breathe, something that shouldn't exist. The sky outside darkens impossibly fast, stars winking out one by one, and from the darkness, they come. Shadow creatures, dozens of them, hundreds, humanoid shapes made of living darkness, with eyes that burn like dying stars and claws that seem to tear reality itself. What are those? Asher's voice is tight with tension. I don't know, but that's a lie. Deep in my witch blood, ancient knowledge stirs. I don't know. No, that's impossible. The chaos entities were sealed millennia ago. The tower's door explodes inward. A figure stands in the entrance, but calling it a figure is generous. It's a void in the shape of a man, reality bending and warping around it, radiating wrongness that makes my three natures recoil in instinctive horror. When it speaks, the voice is layered with the screams of the dying and the laughter of the mad. Tribrid. The word is accusation, curse, and prophecy all at once. What are you? I demand power already gathering in my hands. I am discord. I am division. I am the space between all things. The entity moves forward, and where it steps, the floor rots and decays. I am the reason wolf hates vampire. Vampire despises witch. Witch fears wolf. I feed on separation. I grow strong on conflict. Understanding crashes over me. The purest counsel. You were behind them, feeding their prejudice, strengthening their hate. They were useful tools, but you broke them. Showed mercy when you should have shown might. United when you should have divided. The entity's eyes, if you can call them eyes, burn brighter. You are the antithesis of everything I am. Wolf, vampire, in which in perfect harmony. You will destroy the conflict I have cultivated for millennia. So you must die. The shadow creatures surge forward. Defensive positions. Stacy barks, alpha authority making the command irresistible. He shifts partially, claws and fangs emerging. Protect Edna? I don't need. I start, but Damon cuts me off. We know you don't need protection. But partners protect each other. Let us fight with you, not for you. He's right. This is the test I didn't know I was giving them. Can they see me as an equal even in the heat of battle? Together, then, I say. Stacy, tactical command. Damon, you're our heavy hitter. Asher, magical support with me. Everyone clear? They nod, falling into formation without ego or argument. The shadow creatures hit us like a tsunami. Stacy's tactical brilliance becomes immediately apparent. He doesn't try to fight all the creatures at once. He identifies choke points, directs our attacks to maximum efficiency, calls out weak points I wouldn't have noticed. Edna, left flank, 3 coming in low. I spin, violet magic erupting from my hands, and obliterate the shadows with concentrated witch fire. They scream as they dissolve, and the sound is nails on a chalkboard made of suffering. Damon is a whirlwind of violence, vampire speed, making him nearly impossible to track. He tears through shadow creatures with claws and fangs, but more keep coming. For every one he destroys, 2 more take its place. They're endless, he snarls. They're feeding off the entity. Asher shouts back. He's weaving protective wards around us, golden shields that keep the creatures from overwhelming our position. We have to take down the source. The chaos entity laughs, and the sound makes reality itself shudder. You cannot defeat me, little Tribrid. I am eternal. I am inevitable. I am really fucking annoying. I finish. Seriously, do all ancient evils come with mandatory monologuing? I gather my power, all 3 natures at once, not fighting each other, but working in perfect synchronization. Wolf strength, vampire speed, witch magic, Tribrid unity. I launch myself at the entity, and the world becomes a blur of motion and magic. We clash in the center of the hall, and it's like 2 opposing forces of nature colliding. The entity is pure division, chaos, entropy. I am unity, harmony, synthesis. We're antithetical. One of us cannot exist if the other triumphs. The entity is stronger than I expected. It wraps tendrils of shadow around me, burning like acid, trying to tear my 3 natures apart. I feel it pulling at my wolf, my vampire, my witch, trying to separate what I've unified. No! I scream, holding myself together through sheer force of will. I am 1, not 3. 1. But it's not enough. The entity is ancient, powerful, fed by millennia of conflict. I'm strong, but I'm still learning, still growing. I'm losing. Then I feel them. Stacy, Damon, and Asher, all reaching to the mate bond simultaneously. Take our strength. Stacy's voice echoes in my mind. We're yours. Use us. Everything we are, Damon adds. Every drop of power, every ounce of will. It's yours. We trust you, Asher finishes. Completely. The mate bonds, newly sealed, suddenly become conduits. Raw power flows from all 3 alphas into me. Not overwhelming, not controlling, but offering. Freely given. I accept it. Wolf strength from Stacy, multiplying my own. Vampire ferocity from Damon, sharpening my killing instinct. magical reserves from Asher, deepening my well of power. Combined with my Tribrid nature, I become something unprecedented. I am unity incarnate, and the chaos entity, creature of pure division, cannot withstand it. This ends now. I roar, and my voice carries the weight of 4 souls speaking as one. I don't just attack the entity. I embody everything it's not. Harmony, cooperation, love, unity across all divisions. My power crashes into it like a tidal wave of pure integration, and the entity SCRMS. Impossible. You cannot. I am eternal. You are nothing. I drive my fist, wreathed in silver, crimson, and violet light, straight into its core. You exist because species fight. But we don't have to. We can choose unity. And when we do, you starve. The entity's form destabilizes, darkness boiling away like mist under sunlight. This isn't over. It howls as it disintegrates. As long as hate exists, as long as fear divides, I will return. Then we'll be ready. One final surge of power, and the chaos entity explodes into nothingness, taking all its shadow creatures with it. Silence falls. I collapse to my knees, utterly spent. The power drain is catastrophic. I gave everything, and the alphas gave me even more. I'm running on empty, barely conscious. Strong arms catch me. Stacy. No, Damon. Wait, Asher? All 3 of them, supporting me, keeping me upright. I've got you, Stacy murmurs. We've got you, Damon corrects. Always, Asher adds. I manage a weak laugh. I thought I didn't need rescuing? You don't, Stacy says firmly. But you need us, just like we need you. That's what partners do. We hold each other up when we fall. I look at each of them. Really look. Stacy has a massive gash across his chest from where he threw himself between me and a shadow creature. Damon's arm is broken, bones showing through torn flesh from when he pulled me out of the entity's grip. Asher is bleeding from a dozen cuts, consequences of maintaining shields while wounded. They protected me. Not because I'm weak, but because they love me, and I love them. The realization hits like lightning. I love them, all 3 of them. Different flavors of love. Stacy's steady devotion, Damon's consuming passion, Asher's gentle constancy, but love nonetheless. The mate bonds, I whisper, they're still incomplete. We sealed them, but not fully. There's one more step. The claiming, Damon says, voice rough, full acceptance, full integration, no reservations. I nod. I have to choose. Right now, seal the bonds permanently, or sever them forever. And if I seal them, I meet their eyes. It's forever. No takebacks, no do-overs. You'll be mine and I'll be yours until death and beyond. We know, Stacy says. We're ready, Asher adds. We're yours, Damon finishes. If you'll have us. I look at them. 3 alphas who rejected me at my weakest and then proved themselves at my strongest, who fought beside me as equals, who gave me everything without expecting anything in return, who passed the test they didn't even know they were taking. I have conditions, I say. They tense but nod. I will not be your possession, I state clearly. I will be your mate, your equal, your partner, not your property, not your prize, not something you won. Do you understand? Yes, they say in unison. I will make my own choices, live my own life. You can advise, suggest, argue, but you will not command me or control me or decide for me. Agreed, Stacy says. I will not be kept in a cage, golden or otherwise. I continue. I am a Tribrid. I have responsibilities to all 3 species. I will not abandon that duty to play house. We wouldn't ask you to, Asher says quietly. And most importantly, I take a breath. You are mine, all 3 of you. I don't share well. I will be possessive, jealous, probably unreasonable about it. If you want me, you accept that I will claim you as thoroughly as you claim me. Damon's grin is sharp and genuine. I would expect nothing less. Then swear it, I demand, before the moon goddess, before whatever powers watch over vampires and witches, before everything sacred, swear you accept these terms. Swear you take me as your equal mate and sovereign Tribrid. Stacy steps forward first, drops to one knee, and takes my hand. I, Stacy Shadowborn, Alpha of Shadow Ridge, swear before the Moon Goddess and all that is sacred. I accept you, Edna Nightshade, as my equal mate, my partner in all things, my sovereign Tribrid. Your choices are your own. Your power is your own. Your life is your own. And I am yours completely forever. The mate bond flares silver. Damon kneels next, taking my other hand. I, Damon Bloodmoon, Alpha of Crimson Fong, swear before the Crimson Father and all that is eternal. I accept you, Edna Nightshade, as my equal mate, my obsession, my queen in truth, not just title. I am yours to command, yours to claim, yours to keep, forever. The mate bond pulses crimson. Finally, Asher kneels, pressing my hand his heart. I, Asher Nighthaven, Alpha of Silver Moon, swear before the ancient powers and all that is true, I accept you, Edna Nightshade, as my equal mate, my choice, my love. I will stand with you, fight for you, and choose you above all else. Every day, forever. The mate bond glows violet, silver, crimson, violet. The three bonds weave together, and I feel them settling into place. Not chains binding me, but threads connecting me. Support, not restriction. Love, not possession. I accept, I whisper. I accept all three of you as my mates, my equals, my partners, mine. The bond seal, not gently, explosively. Silver, crimson, and violet light erupt from all four of us, spiraling together, binding us in ways that transcend physical, magical, or spiritual. This is so deep, eternal, unbreakable. When the light fades, I can feel them, not just emotionally, but fundamentally. Stacy's steady heartbeat, Damon's cold fire, Asher's warm devotion. All three, as much a part of me as my own heartbeat. And they can feel me too. My wolf, my vampire, my witch, all of me, laid bare, nothing hidden. We are mated, truly, completely, forever. Stacy stands and kisses my hand with unexpected gentleness. My pack is yours. Damon rises and kisses my throat, fangs grazing skin in promise. My strength is yours. Asher stands last and kisses my forehead with reverent tenderness. My loyalty is yours. I look at all three of them, these alphas who are now irrevocably mine, and smile. Good. I say, voice layer with all three of my natures and backed by the full weight of the mate bonds. Because you're mine now, all three of you, and I don't share well. Their eyes flash, silver, crimson, green, all reflecting the same possessive heat I feel burning in my chest. Wouldn't dream of asking you to. Damon purrs. I laugh, exhausted and exhilarated and utterly complete. This isn't a fairy tale ending, is it? No, Stacy agrees. It's a beginning. Of what? I ask. Asher smiles. Of whatever we build together. The mate bonds thrum with satisfaction. All four of us connected in ways that can never be undone. I'm no longer the rejected Omega. I'm the Tribrid who chose her own destiny. And my destiny chose me back. Chapter 9. The Tribrid's Reign. 3 months later. I stand in the council chamber of what used to be the Tri-Pack Alliance headquarters, now simply called the Unity Hall. The name change was Asher's idea, symbolic of what we're trying to build. Around the circular table sit representatives from all three species, wolves, vampires, and witches. Some are here willingly, excited about the changes we're implementing. Others are here grudgingly, still clinging to old prejudices, but unable to deny the power shift that's occurred. At the head of the table, or rather, at 4 equally positioned seats that form a square within the circle, sit Stacy, Damon, Asher, and me. The Council of 4, they're calling us. 3 alphas and 1 Tribrid queen. I still hate the queen part, but I've learned to pick my battles. The sanctuary proposal, I say, gesturing to the document spread before us. We've identified land in the unclaimed territories, neutral ground where no single species is dominance. We'll build a community where wolf, vampires, and witches can live together, learn from each other, prove that coexistence isn't just possible, it's beneficial. A wolf elder, one of the moderates, raises his hand. And who would govern the sanctuary? A rotating council with equal representation from all three species. Asher answers smoothly. No single group holds permanent power. Decisions are made by consensus. That's chaos. A vampire aristocrat sneers. Nothing would ever get done. Or, Damon counters, voice silk over steel. It would force cooperation. Force us to actually listen to each other instead of just issuing edicts and expecting obedience. The meeting continued for hours. Arguments, compromises, small victories, and frustrating setbacks. But by the time we adjourn, we've secured funding and approval for the sanctuary. It's not perfect. There's resistance. Some territories have outright refused to participate. But it's progress. Real, tangible progress. As the others file out, Stacy catches my hand. You did well today. We did well. I correct. This only works if we're united. United, he echoes, and his smile is genuine. 3 months ago, I would have fought that word. Now, he brings my hand to his lips. Now I can't imagine anything else. My days have fallen into a rhythm that would have seemed impossible just months ago. Mornings belong to Stacy. We trained together in the yards behind Unity Hall. Him teaching me pack tactics and formation fighting. Me showing him how to weave magic into combat. He's a surprisingly apt student. His analytical mind grasping magical theory with the same precision he applies to battle strategy. You're telegraphing, he says, as I attempt a complicated spell and strike combination. I am not. He moves before I can finish, disarming me and pinning me against a training wall. Not roughly, but firmly, demonstrating my vulnerability. You drop your left shoulder before casting, he murmurs, close enough that I feel his breath on my neck. Anyone paying attention would know exactly what you're about to do. Then teach me not to. His smile is slow, satisfied. Gladly. Our bond is built on this. Mutual respect, intellectual challenge, the quiet devotion of partners who push each other to be better. He's learned that strength isn't rigidity, that the willow survives the storm by bending, not by standing firm. And I've learned that his coldness was never cruelty, just protection. A wall he built to keep himself safe that he's finally lowering for me. Evenings often belong to Damon. The vampire in me wakes when the sun sets, and Damon meets that darkness with his own. We've developed rituals. Feeding, he offers his blood freely, and I offer mine, sparring brutal and sensual in equal measure, and long conversations about power, desire, and what it means to be a creature of the night. Tonight, we're in his private chambers, and the air is thick with tension. You're holding back, he accuses, circling me like the predator he is. I'm being careful. I don't want careful. I want all of you. He moves close, fangs visible, eyes burning crimson. Every part, even the parts that scare you. My vampire nature rises to meet his challenge, and I let my own fangs descend, let the hunger show in my eyes. You might not like what you find. I warn. Try me? What follows is intense. Blood play that edges into power exchange, both of us testing boundaries, seeing how far we can push before one of us breaks. But we don't break. We just discover new ways to fit together. Afterward, tangled in silk sheets, Damon traces a mate mark on my throat. His mark, the one that appeared when the bond sealed. I was terrified of this, he admits quietly, of wanting someone so much it made me weak. And now I know that vulnerability isn't weakness, it's strength. Because I trust you with all of me. The monster, the aristocrat, the male who would burn the world for you. And you don't flinch from any of it. I kiss him, tasting copper and devotion. You're not a monster. You're mine. His smile against my lips is pure satisfaction. Yes, yours. Afternoons are Asher's domain. We sit together in the strategy room, navigating the complex politics of three species trying to coexist. He's brilliant at this. Seeing connections I miss, finding compromises that satisfy multiple factions, building coalitions with patience and charm. The vampire covens in the east are pushing back against the sanctuary, he says, reviewing reports. They see it as diluting their culture. Can we bring in a vampire representative who's pro-integration? Show them it's not about erasure, it's about expansion? He considers, then nods. Damon has contacts. I'll reach out. We work like this for hours, but it never feels like work. It feels like partnership, like building something together that's bigger than either of us alone. Later, when the paperwork is done and the strategy session's complete, we sit in comfortable silence. Sometimes he reads to me, old texts, new poetry, whatever catches his interest. Sometimes we just exist together, no expectations, no demands. I was so afraid, he says one evening, seemingly out of nowhere. Of what? Of disappointing everyone. My pack, my council, my parents' legacy. I thought choosing you meant abandoning them. He turns to look at me, green eyes soft. But choosing you taught me true courage. Not the courage to make easy choices, but the courage to make right ones, even when they're hard. I lean into him, fitting under his arm like I was made for that space. You taught me that leadership isn't about being perfect. It's about being willing to grow. We taught each other, he corrects gently. 3 mates, 3 different kinds of love, 3 different ways of being cherished. I'm not too much anymore. I'm exactly enough for all 3 of them. And they're exactly enough for me. 3 months to the day after the mate bond sealed, I stand in the neutral grounds, the same ancient clearing where I was publicly rejected by 3 alphas, where I collapsed, bleeding and broken, certain I would die. But I'm not here to relive trauma. I'm here to reclaim this space. The gathering is even larger than it was 3 months ago. Wolves, vampires, and witches from every major territory. Some are here to support the changes we're implementing. Others are here to oppose them. Most are just curious about the Tribrid who somehow survived 3 rejections and ended up mated to all 3 alphas who rejected her. My 3 mates stand beside me, a united front. I step forward to the center of the circle, the exact spot where I knelt and bled, and this time I stand tall. 3 months ago, I begin, voice carrying across the silent crowd. I stood in this very spot and was told I wasn't worthy, that my blood was tainted, that I was wrong, defective, an abomination that shouldn't exist. I pause, letting that sink in. You know what? I believed it. I spent 21 years believing that everything wrong in my life was my fault, that I deserved the abuse, the rejection, the pain, because that's what you taught me. All of you, your hierarchies, your prejudices, your narrow definitions of what's acceptable. You used those as weapons to beat me down until I couldn't imagine being anything other than wrong. Some in the crowd shift uncomfortably. Good. Today, I stand here as your Tribrid queen, mated to 3 alphas, more powerful than any single species could produce. And I want you to know something. I was never the problem. Your fear was, your prejudice was, your inability to see beyond what you've always known was. I let my power flare, not threatening, just visible. Silver, crimson, and violet light dancing around me like living flame. Everything you were taught about purity, about separation, about hierarchy being necessary for strength, it was all a lie designed to keep us weak, to keep us fighting each other instead of working together. And you know what's tragic? It worked. For millennia, it worked. I turned slowly, making eye contact with as many as I can. The chaos entity that attacked 3 months ago, it fed on our division, grew strong on our conflicts. It would have destroyed us all if we hadn't united wolf, vampire, which in Tribrid, to fight it. Unity saved us. Cooperation saved us. Everything you were taught would weaken us is actually what made us strong enough to survive. Pretty words, a voice call from the crowd, an older wolf, traditional to his core, but you're asking us to abandon everything our ancestors built. I'm asking you to evolve. I counter, your ancestors built systems that work for their time, but times change. We change, and if we refuse to adapt, we die. Simple as that. You want us to mix, a vampire sneers, to contaminate pure bloodlines. I want you to live. I interrupt. I want your children to grow up knowing they're valuable regardless of what species they are or who they love. I want wolves who carry vampire or witch blood to stop hiding in shame. I want a world where being different isn't a death sentence. I step forward, power building. I'm not here for revenge, despite everything you did to me. And believe me, I remember every moment. I'm not here to hurt you. I'm here to show you there's another way, a better way. And yes, it's scary. Yes, it requires change. But the alternative is stagnation, division, eternal conflict that will eventually destroy us all. The crowd is silent, processing. I'm offering you a choice, I say quietly. Keep clinging to old hatreds and old hierarchies, or embrace something new. Build bridges instead of walls. Celebrate differences instead of fearing them. The sanctuary we're building, that's just the beginning. A proof of concept. A place where wolves, vampires, and witches will learn that we're stronger together than apart. I look back at my 3 mates. They nod, supporting me. They told me I was too much, too different, too complicated, that I needed to be one thing or nothing. I turned back to the crowd. But I'm not too much. I'm exactly enough. Every part of me. The parts you called tainted, the parts you called wrong, the parts that didn't fit your narrow definitions. All of it makes me who I am. And I'm not apologizing anymore. My voice rises, carrying to every corner of the clearing. Not for my power, not for my complexity, not for taking up space, not for demanding love on my terms. Not for existing in a way that makes you uncomfortable. You don't get to make yourself smaller, so others feel bigger. You claim your space. You own your truth. And you surround yourself with people who celebrate you, not just tolerate you. Several wolves, younger ones mostly, are nodding. A few vampires look thoughtful. Some witches are openly crying. This is my reign. I declare, not a tyranny, not a dictatorship. A partnership with anyone willing to build a better world. You don't have to love me. You don't even have to like me. But you will respect the right of every being to exist without persecution. And if you can't do that, my eyes flash with all 3 colors. Then you're free to leave. Find territories that still cling to the old ways. But know this, the world is changing. With or without you, I let the power fade, becoming just Edna again. Powerful, yes, but approachable. Who's with me? For a long moment, silence. Then Stacy steps forward. Shadow Ridge stands with the Tribrid Queen. Damon follows. Crimson Fawn stands with her. Asher moves to my other side. Silver Moon stands with her. A young wolf in the crowd, can't be more than 18, steps into the circle. Moonhaven Pack stand with you. Another voice. Starlight Coven supports the sanctuary. More voices join, a chorus of support building like a wave. Not everyone, maybe not even half, but enough, more than enough to start. I smile and it's genuine. Then let's build something worth believing in. That night, back at the Obsidian Tower, which has become our primary residence, I'm standing on the highest balcony when they find me. Stacy arrives first, as always, drawn by the mate bond's pull. Damon and Asher follow moments later. You were magnificent today, Asher says. We were magnificent. I correct. I couldn't do any of this without you. Funny, Damon murmurs, pressing against my back. I recall you saving yourself quite spectacularly. We just provided backup. Partners provide backup. Stacy adds, taking my hand. That's the point. I lean into them, surrounded by 3 alphas who smell like home. I have something to tell you, I say, quietly. They tense immediately, sensing this is important. I'm pregnant. Silence. Profound, absolute silence. Then Asher breathes. That's impossible. Tribrid or sterile. The texts all say, the texts are wrong. Or I'm special even for a Tribrid. Or I place my hand on my still flat stomach. Or maybe this is what happens when a Tribrid mates with 3 alphas. The combined power creates new possibilities. Is it? Stacy doesn't finish the question. All 3 of yours. Somehow, the pregnancy magic bonded genetic material from each of you with mine. It's unprecedented. Damon kneels, pressing his ear to my stomach, even though it's far too early to hear anything. A child. Our child. The first second-generation Tribrid. Asher whispers, awe in his voice. The text said it was impossible. That Tribrids were always sterile, always the end of their bloodline. Then we're making new texts. I say, firmly. New rules. A new world. Stacy pulls me into an embrace, and the other two join, all of us tangled together. Are you scared? He asks. Terrified, I admit, but also excited. This child will grow up in a world where being different isn't a death sentence, where having multiple heritages is celebrated, not condemned. We're building that world. For them, they echo. Through the mate bonds, I feel their emotions. Shock, joy, protective fury, overwhelming love, all directed at me and the tiny life growing inside me. The prophecy, Asher says suddenly, when three become one, we thought it meant your three natures uniting. But maybe it meant this. The three of us creating one child with you. Maybe it meant both. I suggest, maybe prophecies are less about prediction and more about possibility. We stand together, overlooking the three territories that are slowly, painfully, beautifully learning to exist without walls between them. They rejected me when I was weak. I murmur, almost myself. They claimed me when I was strong. But the truth is, I was always strong. I just needed to reject their definition of me and claim my own. What are you thinking? Damon asks. That we've come so far. That there's so far still to go. That this child will inherit a world we're still building. I turn to face my three mates. That I'm Edna Nightshade, Tribrid, Queen, mate to three alphas, mother-to-be, daughter of prophecy, bridge between worlds. I let my power flare one more time. Silver, crimson, violet, all swirling together. And I'm not half of anything. I'm 3 times everything. Stacy kisses my hand. This is your reign. Damon kisses my throat. And it's only just beginning. Asher kisses my forehead. What happens next? I smile, fierce and certain and utterly unafraid. We build. We fight. We love. We create a world worth living in. I look at each of them. Together, they echo. The mate bonds pulse with harmony, for souls bound as one. The moon rises full and bright, and somewhere in the distance, I hear wolves howling. Not in challenge, not in warning, in celebration, in unity, in hope. I shift partially, eyes glowing, fangs visible, magic crackling around my hands, and throw my head back to join them. My 3 alphas shift as well, and their howls harmonize with mine. Silver, crimson, and violet light spirals into the night sky, visible for miles. A beacon, a promise, a new beginning. The screen fades to black, then flashes of silver, crimson, and violet light swirling together into brilliant white light. The sound of 3 wolves howling in perfect harmony. And then silence. They rejected me when I was weak. They claimed me when I was strong. But I was always strong. I just needed to claim my own truth. I'm Edna Nightshade, Tribrid, Queen, bridge between worlds. This is my reign, and it's only just beginning.